in our show, the GSL Code S. In the bottom left, we have
Leenock.
And there he is now. I like his hair.
Yeah.
That's becoming more popular to create a color here like that.
It really is, and it's nice to see.
It looks good. Meanwhile, in the upper right, we have our GSL champion, formerly known as Optimus Prime. He is
GSL Polt.
Ooh.
All right.
Polt.
So, I have so much to talk about right now. First off, I want to give you props, Stasis, for mentioning that Leenock only has practice for Terrans in this group.
Yeah.
But one thing I want to point out is that Polt had the hardest time practicing for this group. With 3 Terrans in your group, and being in the first match where you're in a Terran versus Terran, you practice almost completely TVT.
Yes, that is actually
Polt, on the
true.
other hand, has to play a Zerg, and then he has to play a Terran. So he already has 2 matches he absolutely has to do. And that makes it so much harder for Polt to practice for this group.
That is absolutely correct. And in case you guys are confused about why, let's say, the first 2 Terran players only practice TVT,
Or
because,
mostly,
but you know what I mean,
yeah.
Is because they just know that it's so important to win that first match. If you have a really solid TVT, you might win that game, and then the next game, and you're set. Or if you win the first game, and then you play against a Zerg and you lose the next game, well, then you're going to go against Terran after that. I was talking so fast I almost couldn't get my words out.
That's right. All right, so I'm interested to see what Polt does to really use this map into his favor. We saw Calm Before the Storm, of course. In case you guys didn't join us last night, this is one of our new maps. It has a free expansion behind you. They cannot get to it. It's only accessible by air in your main base, so it's completely free. Then it has a normal natural, and the rush distance is unfathomably huge. This is a gigantic map. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and say it. This is bigger than Terminus Re. This is the biggest map. This is... And for this reason, Zerg is going to love this map. It's huge, takes a long time to get anywhere. You get the free expand, which means their third hatchery can be a third expand. Normally in this matchup, you will be taking your third base as mutas are popping out. Right as your Spire is finishing, that's generally the mean time where you take it, okay?
Yeah.
That's right around there, sometimes after they hatch. It matters what happens a lot. But anyways, that's the time. Here, no. The time you get your macro hatch is the time that you take it, because you want a hatchery out in front so that you can build spines if you need and whatever. This gives you the potential for a gigantic economy. So Terran has to react to this in some way. They have to do something greedy or aggressive or something like that. And I'm interested to see what Polt does here, because yesterday we had, was it SC or was it that other guy? Oh, ASD. I think it might have been ASD, who absolutely did not... No, it was SC, but he absolutely did not do a build that took this map into consideration. It was like
that
build.
game. Yeah, he was just treating it like it was any other map.
So we're going to have to see from Polt if he has something planned to better fit on this map.
Get back here, SCV.
And in fact, Leenock takes the front expand first, which is fine too. You can take whichever one first that you want to.
I feel like our Terran's already starting to go in that direction that SC did.
I do too. I do too. But with 4 barracks, he might just be trying to hit a very powerful timing attack that would punish someone too greedy.
Maybe. Well, I mean, I don't know, man. Look at the size of this map. Jesus. Look at that blue blip slowly moving down there.
Yeah, it's...
Well, comets millions of miles away. Move quicker. No, seriously, I cannot believe how long the distance is. He might be doing a pressure build, though. Maybe he's going to make a command center while he does that.
Yeah, and that would be fine if he takes a really quick third.
This is such a new map that, Artosis and I, very craft-wise, are correct about how to play on it. But then again, it's like, what is the optimal build to do still?
Well, we don't know that yet.
We don't know that
sure.
yet. The players probably don't either.
But, I mean, we're old StarCraft 1 pros. We've seen maps like this before.
I've definitely played on these big-ass maps.
Yeah, absolutely. And you do have to play a bit different on it. You simply do. It's a different map architect. All right, so we do have Stem on the way. So it looks like he just wants to hit a very powerful timing attack with this. He's getting Stem. He's getting that second Tech Lab as well.
Note, guys, the position of the evolution chambers there on the right. That's going to make the entrance smaller. So he has 2 evolution chambers side by side just so that you can't streamline into their base with Hellions.
Absolutely.
And same with the macro hatch over here, too.
Beautiful
Now-
placement by Leenock.
now,
I'm loving this already.
One factor, though, is that if, let's say, the Marines' timing attack does come,
Yep.
it's going to be more of a funnel for Zerglings to get through.
Yes,
And that
that's
could be annoying.
very true. In fact, that might end up doing great wonders for Polt. And in fact, I love what Polt's doing. He's getting a lot of upgrades on these Marines. He's going super Marine heavy, and he's getting another command center behind it. So you're right. It's a pressure into expand. And this is, there you go, man. This is the type of thing you have to do. We will see.
We'll see if he scans, too, and just kills off the creep. I mean, on a map this big, if you push back the creep early on, which is what he's going to do.
He's got to be careful, though. Leenock is hatching up a lot of Zerglings, and Stim and Combat Shields are not done yet. If Leenock was to go out with all his Zerglings right now, they'd be very more effective. Very more effective.
Very more effective indeed, Artosis.
They'd be very more effective than they would be once Stim and Combat Shields are done. All right, so now that I've completely bungled that, 51 drones against 47 SCVs at the moment. So Leenock hasn't truly pushed his drone edge yet. Playing a little bit safe still. Getting all his upgrades, getting his Baneling Nest. I really like how Leenock's playing right now, I have to admit. I'm a total fan of the way he's doing this. He's got 4 hatches. He's got 4 queens. He's getting mass Zergling upgrades, getting the Baneling Nest and the Lair so that he can get Baneling speed if need be, get that Mutalisk Spire up. And here's the beautiful thing about going Spire on this map. Again, your third base, when does it come up? As your Spire's finishing about, okay? Right around that time. This time he's going to have way more gas, so when his Spire finishes, it's going to be way more Mutas. It's going to be scary. But this timing attack right here, which Polt is expanding behind, this is awesome, man. These Marauders are going to be so scary.
Actually, with the Banelings being morphed over here, this actually could be huge.
Beautiful
he's
play.
Not even canceling it. I guess he wants to buy time for these other Banelings to finish. Artosis, I don't know. Remember that funnel I talked about, guys?
Yeah, it's here.
Oh my God!
Targeting down the
Banelings.
Banelings. Yeah, and actually this will be GG because
Yeah.
he killed off every single Baneling that was morphing. Leenock in a lot of trouble, Tasteless. A lot of trouble indeed. Polt with a very nice timing attack, punishing any greed of Leenock.
Wow,
Playing
brilliant.
this map very well, much better than we saw last night. No doubt about that.
I am impressed.
Yes.
And a lot of this had to do with where the Banelings were actually being morphed in from. Oh God, he's gonna get the drones too. And if he gets the Baneling Nest.
Well, Leenock right now is in so much trouble. You know, he's getting Burrow and he's getting centrifugal hooks for Baneling speed. So he's doing good things, smart things. He'll clean this up.
He'll do an attack the moment that finishes. The Broodlings and the Zerglings work together.
And just barely mistimed that. But he definitely has enough at this point to bust through
Well,
here.
Leenock
But
just is in so much trouble, guys. He lost a lot of drones.
He lost Evolution Chambers. He did get 1-1 out of it, so that's really good. And
yeah, that's good.
He lost 11 drones have been killed. So that's pretty hurtful, but he didn't lose any hatches. He lost 2 queens. So he's not going to have as many larva injects. He's going to have to pop those queens right out. He's already popping them out to get that production back online. But this game isn't over. Polt definitely took a nice, strong lead there. He played it very well, expanded behind all that pressure. That's the type of way that you're going to want to play this
Burrow. Oh, he's not having any of that. Thought we were going to see some Baneling land mineage, but not this time around. I think Polt may just regroup and attack again. This way, it's harder for Leenock to keep making drones, which is what he wants to do, because if he makes too many drones, then Polt wins. If he makes attack units, he maybe holds it off, but Polt is, of course, back at home landing mules and making more SCVs himself, because he hasn't really been touched this game.
That's right.
That's right. It's true.
Well, you know, Baneling speed.
Oh my God. That's so many barracks.
Yeah, it is. In fact, he's dropping supply because it's so hard to keep up supply depots at this point. You know, one thing Polt does have to be careful, though. He's out here with this army, and he does have medevacs, so he can't pick up a good amount. But this little flank right here could be strong. A lot of Banelings walking in, and bam, Leenock crushing that army. Right down into nothingness, Tasteless. That was a nice little army crush.
That was.
And suddenly, the game is looking a lot closer. We have 9 Infestors on the way, 2-2 upgrades for the Zerglings, and a Hive. Tasteless, Leenock is playing really well, but what he has to do right now is expand again. He has to expand right now. He just killed that army. He's teching up to Hive. He can't do this off 3 bases. You don't want to be doing 3-base Hive. It's kind of all-in-ish. You need those additional bases, and in fact, he's removing all the rocks, getting ready for this next base.
This is the sign of a smart player.
These players are playing so well right now. This is a complete treat to watch.
Yeah, it really is. With the Infestors coming out now, the big question, though, is will Polt's next time in attack be too much? We just saw, actually, can you go up and check how many barracks is there, Artosis? That's actually...
He's got 10 barracks and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 reactors. So it's basically 16 barracks non-stop.
Now, Leenock is going to go for Ultralisks. He is not going for the Brood Lords we normally see.
He's getting all these melee upgrades. He's got the Infestors. I love this play, especially on such a huge map. And against so few siege tanks, nice fungal growth right there. Backing up, letting some Zerglings die, keeping those Infestors alive, very, very important. God, Tasteless, I'm getting sick nerd chills right now. These two are just playing beautifully. In fact, during this
expansion canceled.
The double expand, the perfect move by Leenock was countered by a perfect drop by Polt, which made one of them cancel. These two are, seriously, guys, this is the game to watch of tonight.
But, of course, when you do that double expand, the beauty of it is oftentimes they can't get both expansions. So
exactly, that's why you double.
Yep.
And if you do, hey, there you go, 2 expands. Awesome.
It's really good on a map where it's this big.
2-2 upgrades about to finish for Polt, but we do have the 3-3 on the way for the melee, as well as the Adrenal upgrade and the Ultra
nice
upgrade.
fungal here. He can, of course, shoot down a few drones, which he is.
Now, notice he's playing a lot of Spine Crawlers everywhere, Tasteless. This is how you do it with Infestor. You don't have the mutas to stave off dropships, but here we go! Some nice fungals going off, and now just back up Leenock, no problem.
And Leenock, Polt has got a pretty good presence on the map. He's at 180. Well, excuse me, as I'm saying that, he like almost gets max. He was at 180, and then I saw it skyrocket to 195.
Yeah, and he's got a lot more supply than Leenock. Leenock is behind, no question about it. And in fact, oh my God, we have a lot of drops all over the place. But here we go. This is a very important part right here. Uh-oh, that was indecisive, and that's hurtful, man. This has been an amazing game, but Polt's macro is so good right now.
I think Polt's got this, man. I think Leenock was playing brilliantly, but Polt, I mean, look at this line. We have an arrow, a blue arrow being shot down on the minimap here towards the rest of Polt's army.
Oh, absolutely. Definitely, Polt is going to take this Tasteless. His army is staying maxed nonstop. Leenock is macroing like a pro and all, but, that early damage really is what did it to him. He set up his buildings to prevent Hellions, but instead Polt went Marauder Marine and hit him right before Banelings had morphed. Just everything.
That's it. GG.
Everything worked out perfectly.
Damn, that was a really high-level game.
That was, seriously.
That was so impressive.
Polt got the edge early on, killing off all those Banelings, dealing some damage, getting about 10 drones, getting a couple queens, and that's what did it for him. That's why he won, because other than that, Leenock played beautifully. Other than just being caught off guard and having Banelings a little bit
a lot
late.
of this had to do with as you said perfectly, the Banelings being morphed in this location. They could have been hit. He even let those Banelings be killed because he had other Banelings morphing elsewhere. He just ran right in there, killed those Banelings, and by then the damage had been dealt. Leenock was playing perfectly. I don't know if any other Terran player could have actually taken him out, but
superbly.
He did so well there.
Well, Polt showed the difference. Now, SC did win the game on this map last night. If any of you have watched or haven't watched it, he made a bunch of Hellions, ended up doing enough damage off of a 1 factory reactor Hellion. You're not actually supposed to do that much damage off that. But whatever, it worked for him. But he didn't actually play the map like it was the map. Polt just played the map like it was the map. He had a very nice timing there. He mixed in some Marauders, knowing that his opponent's going to be a little bit later in the layer and all that, while expanding again behind it. This was the best game of the night by far so far.
I was really impressed. It's such a treat as a commentator, as you know as well, to cast a game when I'm looking at this and I'm like, this is really good. These guys are good.
Absolutely.
So, is that our first game or second game? We casted Gonzi and Ensnare, right?
That was our second game.
So we're going to be going to a 5-minute commercial break momentarily here, guys. But I definitely recommend that to your friends if you want to understand how different map sizes require different styles of play. The double expand from the Zerg, that's something you can't normally do with Zerg. You don't just take 2 bases and then...
No, absolutely not, man.
They just kill you. So we'll be back with more great games in just a little bit. Stay tuned.